Before I get started, I want to let you know that we tried using a new writer for this episode, so be sure to tell us what you think in the comments section below. It's not a spring. It's not a shock or a creature from The Legend of Zelda. Nope, in fact, it was something new entirely. Today's topic has its ups and downs, pun intended, but it also has its place in history as an iconic toy that will go on to be popular for years to come. Hey everybody, what's up and welcome back to Macabre Labs presents School of Boredom Quickies. My name is Bats and I'll be your guide today as we discuss today's topic, Slinky, Fun Falling Down.
For fun is the best of the toys. It's Slinky, the favorite of girls and boys. Everyone wants a Slinky, you ought to get a Slinky.
Most people have played with a Slinky at least one time in their lives, but what would you say if I told you it was created completely by accident? The origin of the Slinky began way back in 1943 during World War II, when an American naval engineer named Richard James was trying to design a new tension spring. While working one day, he accidentally knocked over a spring and watched in surprise as the spring seemed to walk down a series of books, desks, and shelves. The Slinky's signature ability to walk downstairs happens due to the gravity and the momentum that is. We're going to get scientific here for just a moment because as it turns out the Slinky was an amazingly fun use of physics. As the Slinky is moved or slunk to a lower surface, the slinking motion is sustained through a series of directional ricochets, functioning like shock waves that move through the coil, causing it to slump over into its next progression. And it stops when the Slinky hits the bottom of its incline, or on occasion when the shock wave does not produce enough momentum to keep it moving through its decline. So in actuality, the Slinky somersaults, as it doesn't actually walk. However, it does create a rather interesting and amusing illusion. Excited about the prospect of a new invention, Richard went home to tell his wife, Betty James, about his idea. Richard began the design process by experimenting with different types of steel wire and tensions to find the exact properties of each that would work perfectly together. After experimenting for over a year, he would finally find the perfect blend that would allow the spring to walk.
During this process, Betty was skeptical about her husband's idea, but once she saw the final product and how excited the neighborhood kids were, she quickly changed her mind.
For the final prototype, Richard used 80 feet of steel wire coiled into a 2-inch helical spring.
For those that may not know, a helix is a shape like a spiral staircase or a corkscrew.
What would you be if you were attached to another object by an inclined plane wrapped helically around an axis? Screwed.
With the prototype ready, Richard James and his wife Betty borrowed $500 and formed James Industries in Clifton Heights, Pennsylvania, where they began to produce the coil. But what to call it? Well, Betty came to the rescue with the name Slinky. She had found this in the dictionary and thought that since Slinky means graceful and sinuous, it was perfect to describe their toy. The original Slinkies were 2.5 inches tall, had 98 coils of high-grade blue-black Swedish steel, and were sold for a whopping $1.
Now, the $1 price did increase over time depending on the price of steel in Pennsylvania.
That is true, Goat, but Betty would do her best to make sure that the Slinky would stay affordable to everybody. As with most products, Richard had difficulty selling the Slinky to toy stores at first. But in 1945, Gimbel's department store gave Slinky its chance by allowing Richard to set up a ramp to demonstrate to customers how it worked. Gimbel's decision proved to be a great decision as the Slinky's mesmerizing motion immediately caught the attention of customers, and within 90 minutes, they sold their entire inventory of 400 Slinky toys. To help get this toy out into the marketplace even more, the Slinky was introduced at the 1944 American Toy Fair. The toy's popularity skyrocketed, and Richard and Betty knew they had a hit on their hands. By 1950, the Slinky had cemented itself as a national sensation. This success story was not, unfortunately, without its downside. In 1960, after Betty filed for divorce, Richard James left the company and joined a religious cult in Bolivia. Meanwhile, Betty James, determined to keep the Slinky legacy alive, took the reins in 1960 as president of James Industries. When marketing a new toy, you need a memorable jingle, and the Slinky was no exception. Come on, you know you're singing it in your head right now.
It's Slinky, for fun is the best of the toys. It's Slinky, the favorite of girls and boys. Everyone wants a Slinky, you ought to get a Slinky.
This jingle was created in 1962 in Columbia, South Carolina, with Johnny McCullough and Homer Fresberman writing the music and Charles Weagley writing the lyrics. Then in 1964, Betty decided to move the company from Clifton Heights to Hollidaysburg, Pennsylvania to be closer to her family. Continuing under Betty's leadership, the Slinky continued to become more and more popular. By 1985, the Slinky embarked on a cosmic adventure. It traveled aboard the Space Shuttle Discovery as part of a physics experiment to demonstrate the effects of zero gravity on its spring-like properties. This was due to the Slinky's mechanics of Hooke's law, and the effects of gravitation shown in the following formulas. The Slinky's cosmic voyage further cemented its status as an enduring icon and a great example of physics at work. In November of 2008, unfortunately, Betty passed away due to congestive heart failure at the ripe old age of 90. She worked very hard to keep to the original values that she and Richard had from the beginning of this invention, and her dedication, love, and influence is still felt to this day. Over the years, the Slinky has added new variations and toys besides just the basic original design. In 1970, inventor Donald Room Sr. in Albany, Minnesota was trying to produce a spiral hose for watering plants, but when the hose was produced, it looked like a Slinky in shape, so he designed a prototype for a plastic Slinky. After showing it to Betty, the plastic Slinky was born. Donald would go on to make this variation of the Slinky for Betty for several years before she decided to have it made by James Industries exclusively. Over the years, many changes and variations can be seen in stores such as the glow-in-the-dark, rainbow color, and even toys that were designed to incorporate the Slinky. These toys include a well-known Slinky dog from a certain movie and a Slinky train. But there's another side to the Slinky besides a toy, because in 2001, a team in the United Kingdom successfully formed the largest Slinky chain, measuring over 1 mile in length. The Guinness World Records recognized this astounding achievement, solidifying the Slinky's place in history. The Slinky also had an educational value as well, as it introduces children to concepts such as physics, elasticity, and the principles of motion. And as of 2023, I suggest every home have a Slinky. The Slinky has also inspired songs, artwork, and even fashion. The iconic image of a Slinky descending a staircase has become a symbol of fun, nostalgia, and proof that science can be both fun and amazing. Did you grow up with a Slinky? Did you have a favorite toy as a child? Let us know some of your favorite childhood toy memories in the comments section below, and we'll see you in the next one. And with that, we've come to the end of another School of Boredom Quickie. I've been your host, Bats, and this has been a look at the history of the Slinky. Fun falling down. Be sure to check back next time because you never know what we have in store. And as usual, think for yourselves, be excellent to each other, and of course, keep it creepy. Now I'm gonna slink on out of here. Hey, thanks for checking out our video. If you enjoyed this one and would like to see more of our weird, creepy, odd, eccentric, or strange content as soon as it comes out, please feel free to click like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more. We'll see you later. Keep it creepy.